Hi. Hey, guys. You know that feeling of like joy and gratitude that you have, like from the last poet? I'm here to take a dump on that feeling. Okay? This has been such an amazing conference. Hasn't this been amazing, guys? I have had such a wonderful time. This year's theme was momentum. There was actually, there was a second theme that they had going that they scrapped. The original theme was actually Tedsters eating food off of sticks in oddly shaped small containers, plus there's a robotic petting zoo. They scrapped that title, it's a little clunky. But you know, with a conference like this where there's just only women, some things come up, some interesting things come up, like there was a really long line for the bathrooms. On that first day, there are not enough bathrooms, and I thought, you know, I'll just sneak into the men's bathroom. But I didn't want to be the one person to run into Jimmy Carter when he's in the bathroom. I didn't want to be that guy. It'd be Jimmy Carter in there, plus the Whitopia dude being like, Jimmy Carter, where do you live? I want to come live with you. Plus that male feminist guy being like, listen, you guys should really divide your chores. It leads to better outcomes. I didn't want to see that. By the way, we learned from Rich Benjamin that playing poker, fishing, golfing, these are all a very serious academic study. Yeah, so the rest of you scholars have totally been doing it wrong. Need to be devising your research in the south of France where you can go wine tasting into the beach. That's what you guys should be doing. And by the way, Rich, get out of Whitopia. It is not safe for you there. What are you doing? Have you not seen the virtual reality journalism of Noni de la Peña? By the way, I love that Noni de la Peña and her virtual reality journalism is basically saying that print journalism is dead and that we're gonna all stop reading altogether. So that's what I took away from that. But what really got to me was Sakina Yakuba's talk. Sakina Yakubi is an Afghan education rights activist. She is the woman who basically played mind games with the Taliban. She played mind games with the Taliban and won, motherfuckers. She won. Yeah, that was like a typical Tuesday for her. You know what I mean? Like, no big deal. Taliban stopped by, a bunch of rifles. You know what a typical Tuesday is for me? I construct 4 to 7 very clever tweets. So me and Sakina are the same. We're the same. I actually do have some things in common with Sakina as an Iranian American. We're both Muslim. We both speak Farsi. And despite any kind of accomplishment that we might have in life, we will both still disappoint our parents because they wanted us to be engineers. So, love you, Mom and Dad. Mostly love you. Oh, you're great. And that's, you know, this was such a touching talk, and that's really one of the hallmarks of TED, is that there is touching talk after touching talk. You're gonna cry 16 to 22 times before 10 a.m., and then you're gonna stand up and do your standing ovating, right? So you're basically, you cry, you stand, you clap, you squat, you cry, stand, clap, squat, cry, stand, clap, squat. Do I sound like one of the poets from yesterday? Cry, stand, clap, squat. I'm trying to learn. Another main hallmark of a TED conference is that you always have to have a white lady singing a Chinese mountain song. It's another one of the things that you have to see at a TED Talk. So they followed all the rules there. There was so much amazing technology on display at this TED conference, wasn't there? So much amazing technology. Robin Murphy wants us to use robots in disaster zones. And by the way, this is an image of her with an unmanned aerial robot. And for anyone on the Obama camp who might be watching, they look a lot like drones, but instead of killing people, they actually save people. So that's just wanted to make that distinction. Ooh, she got political. Ooh, I did. Rana El-Kalyoubi is making our computers read our emotions. She actually gave us some really fantastic statistics. Apparently, women in the US smile 40% more than men. But women in the US also make 23% less than men. So while we're making less money, we hide our rage behind a beautifully crafted smile. Yes. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. This is great. Inequality is great. But this technology, is really exciting. I think what's going to happen is we're going to hear a lot more arguments where women are saying, "How can you not understand how I feel?" Okay, turn on the app so you can understand how I feel. I was actually able to get some data from Rana that she did not share with you yesterday. Here are some things that your computer, the top 3 things that they have found that your computer is likely to say to you. You need a nap, you look like shit. You've been on Facebook for the last 5 hours. Do you know where your child is? Maybe you should finish out this cry in the bathroom. I'm tired of looking at your face. Christina Marcando is pissed because men have pockets to put their devices in. And women don't. And so, of course, at first I thought she was going to unveil some kind of bioengineering of like a kangaroo pouch on all women. Because it's TED, like that would be normal. But turns out she's actually making advancements in wearable technology. Her company is called Ringling. By the way, that name narrowly beat out the other name they were looking at, which was Fuck You Apple Watch. I'm looking at that. If anyone from Apple is here, I totally still want an Apple Watch, just so you know. A pink one. Okay. I was really excited with this technology, but I think I'm gonna wait for the next version of Ringly, the nipple Ringly. The technology's supposed to disappear, so hey, all right. It's supposed to disappear. Speaking of nipples, there was, I did that segue, bitches, yeah. Speaking of nipples, there was a lot of talk about relationships throughout this conference, which was really exciting. For example, Maria Bello, she started out by telling us that 50% of the audience is in a committed relationship, and the other 50% have Netflix. So, sorry about that. But what I really, the thing I really got most from her talk was the many people who have fallen in love with her. So that's great for her, huh? She has so many problems labeling because she has just so many love opportunities. And it's the same for me. It's the same for me. It's just like normal. I'm like that too, you know? So, yeah, it's cool, yeah. I'm single, okay. Oh, this is like a terrible conference to be single at when you're a heterosexual woman. Oh, shit. Sorry, I didn't mean mean to label myself. I didn't mean to label myself. Just disregard that. But I think, you know what? I was supposed to do that so you could see who I was talking about. You know what I mean? Because I wrote this talk at 2 a.m., so this is all a disaster. Okay. But I think the most sexually explicit talk of the entire conference came from Marlene Zook, an evolutionary biologist. She's also TED's in-house insect pornographer. Marlene says sex in insects is more interesting than sex in people. But Marlene, you clearly have never seen me have sex, so I think I keep things very interesting. I occasionally go on top, and I almost always take off my socks. So they're very interesting, sexy times. But there are also women making other advancements in understanding nature. Kakani Katija is figuring out how marine life interacts with the water by studying their hydrodynamic signature. And the great thing about the hydrodynamic signature is pretending to understand the term hydrodynamic signature. Because none of you knew what that shit was. Everybody was like, yes, hydrodynamic signature, yeah, yes, I'm a TED, monocle, yes. All a bunch of pretenders. And Achenya Idichaba, by the way, who's killing it on the name pronunciations? If I mess up anyone's name, there's that golden rule that an ethnic person can mess up the name of another ethnic person. So get off my back, you know what I mean? Achenyo Idachaba is battling the water hyacinth, which is an invasive aquatic weed. So basically what she's doing is she's harvesting the water hyacinth, drying it out, and then weaving it into like beautiful decorative objects. Now, my question for Achenyo is, can you do this with other invasive things like guns or like assholes? Like, can you take a shitty person, dry them out, and make them into a decorative lamp? Can you please figure that out, Achenyo? We're really counting on you. So, Elizabeth Nyamayaro is trying to get men to fight for equality for women and girls with her He for She campaign. And I actually, I want to tell you guys, I'm actually launching my own campaign. It's called the He for Brie campaign. It's people standing up for the rights and the deliciousness of brie cheese. I'm launching it in my kitchen, and so far we have thousands of crackers that have signed up in solidarity with brie cheese. So you're not the only one changing the world, Elizabeth. Okay? Launching my own campaign. That is the dumbest joke I've ever written in my life. I couldn't cut it out. So stupid. He for Brie. All right. Hate myself. Love myself. Memory Banda is going to end child marriage. She's gonna do it. She's so amazing. She's definitely gonna end child marriage. And when she's done with that, I would like to suggest her maybe going to prom or catching a One Direction concert or something. Just take a break, because what are you doing? You're a kid. Okay. This is ridiculous. And what was really kind of another hallmark of a TED conference is that you're walking among giants. People like Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda and Billie Jean King. I mean, right? Yeah, let's give them a round of applause because they're so fucking amazing. when she got off the stage, she went backstage and fought and wrestled a tiger to the ground. That's how, I don't know why TED allows tigers backstage. It's just a weird quirk. June Cohen talk about it. But, these women are so impressive. I had a really, and the thing is, like, you're in the space with them, right? So you never know. Like, you could meet one of these ladies. And I had the honor of walking behind Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, and I was talking to my friend about the vitamins that came in the gift bag. What up, gummies? Okay, and I was like, oh, I'm really excited about the vitamins in the gift bag. And Jane Fonda turns around and she said, you know, you have to take 6 doses of that. That's the amount that you have to take. And I was like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a conversation where Jane Fonda tells you how many vitamins to take. I don't know what brilliant comeback you guys have created for that situation, because I was like, oh my God, Jane Fonda. First of all, she reads the back of bottles. I never do that. I should be like more like Jane Fonda. I should read the back of bottles. Oh my God. What am I doing with my life? I've never read the back of bottles. Is Lily Tomlin gonna turn around and talk to me about my vitamin intake? Oh my God, what am I gonna say? Oh my God, I haven't said anything. I've been silent. I'm just stunned and silent. So it was one of my more eloquent moments here at TED Among Giants. But, you know, we just saw so many former presidents. Yeah, there was just like, how many presidents can one conference handle? They were just roaming around, just like being presidential. And I was like, okay, how many? Jesus. There should be some kind of cap on that. Who is programming this thing? But we got some great exemplars of just women who are great at being women. People like Margaret Heffernan she's a business mogul. Yeah. Margaret is a business mogul, and she's trying to build social capital with employees. And she talked about how in Sweden they're building social capital through something called fika, which means coffee break and/or IKEA side table. Learned that from Margaret. Roxane Gay. Who does not love Roxane Gay? Roxane believes that women deserve the same opportunities as men, that women are equal to men, and they deserve to live a life free of catcalling. Unless, of course, catcalling is where you get your self-esteem, in which case it's totally fine. Because she's a really bad feminist. Like, she by the way, she wasn't able to be here today, and literally she told me she wants you guys to know that she knows that you guys all think that she has a great rack. That is what Roxane Gay told me to tell you, no joke. She's a bad feminist, okay. But between Roxane Gay and Margaret Heffernan, we can be average chickens that watch The Real Housewives and follow the Bible of Beyonce and eat Funyuns and read trashy novels, and we're still feminists. Thank God. Thank God for that. Oh, by the way, God is still a man, so sorry about that. That hasn't changed. God is still a man. So I'm gonna close it up here. This has been such a wonderful experience. I'm so honored to have been here, and I'm so honored to be a part of the TED Fellows program. And you know what? I just want to share an inspirational word from my mother. And you know what? Why don't we all join hands? Let's just join hands. Let's have that. This is my mom. And let's just all join hands, and I'm going to share. Is her face that hilarious, guys? She's my mother, okay? But I just want to share with you something that my mom always says to me, and my mom is really the best. Like, I love her so much, and she always says to me, Negin, never ever forget that I love you, and you're my daughter, and I will always love you, and never ever forget to stuff your bag with the free snacks before they clear the night. Thank you so